Good morning. Today is paint day. My first stage of painting the cabinets. It's a nice warm day, so we'll see if we can get these looking decent. Let's get going. Well, that's the first coat and the first stage of painting these cabinets. This color is called Circus Peanut, and it sure looks different than that little sample that you get, but oh well, I don't think it's going to be too bad. But basically, all you're going to be able to see is the front face frame and the doors, and then the rest will be, one will be up against a wall on the right or left hand side, and one will be up against the refrigerator. So I'm going to let this dry, then get this out of the way and paint my other cabinet and doors, and then we'll be doing the second phase of the finish work on the cabinets. Right here I'm painting the second coat, which is a different color obviously, and that's going to make the wood grain look. The wood graining tool, you run from the top to the bottom and raise and lower your hand as you go from top to bottom, and that creates the grain. You can make it as busy as you want. It really looks good. Well, here's the first stage. I did this on the metal door of the bunkhouse. It was just a gray metal door, and I did this wood graining, and it came out really good. The only problem was the body color and the door color were so close to each other that you can barely see it. So this should look good. We'll see. I'm not done. Once this paint dries very well, then I'll mask off either side of these strips here and wood grain those. Give it somewhat the barn door look. Doing all the masking was the most time-consuming part of the whole job. Didn't quite work. The contrast, you can barely tell that I painted the strip on it. Maybe if I did it with a little bit lighter or a little bit darker, just for the cross. That one the tape messed up. Oh, morning. Of course it's raining today. But I had my neighbor help me get one of these pallets out, and I took it apart this morning, and now I'm getting ready to make a countertop. I'm sure nobody wanted to watch me taking a pallet apart, but this is what's left. There's a couple little cross braces, and they're over in the wood pile. But this is what I'm going to try and square up as much as I can and make countertops out of it. I've got enough cut for the 2 countertops, and I got my biscuit joiner out that I haven't used in a couple years, and it's together. It looks pretty ugly. Hopefully I can sand it down. I'll go over it with a belt sander first, I think. I might try and get a hand planer and go over it with that. But I'll at least do the biscuit joiner on these last pieces of wood here and see what happens. Oh boy, fun. Well, here's the moment of truth. I'm going to take all these clamps off and see how strong it is. I will be screwing backing underneath to help stabilize it, and I'll still have to cut the opening out for the stove and sand it down and see if it works and doesn't fall apart. I used the biscuit joiner. Hopefully it's all good. The last couple of days, a few buddies and myself were building a guard shack for the small community that we live in. There was one here for 30 something years and it was falling apart. So that's what I've been doing the last couple of days. I'll send some pictures of that on this video also. Definitely a little bit cupped. Let me see if I can get down here. So you can see it's a little cupped here. These, it looks like they were 1x12s. They have a little cup in the middle of it, but I'm thinking, I'll see how it sets on top of the cabinet. But I'm thinking if I spill on this countertop, it'll make everything stay to the middle instead of pouring off on the floor. So why not keep trying? It's not too bad. I can push it down. So once I screw the braces to it, I think that'll flatten it out and then I should be able to sand it. But one of the things I was thinking about is just like on a cutting board where they have a drip edge right here for when you're cutting steaks. I was thinking about putting one at least down the sides and in the front, and that'll hold everything on the counter so it doesn't go all over the floor. But we'll see. I think I'm going to try and get some brackets cut. I definitely need to glue the other one together and let it dry, but not too bad. So it's up about 3/16 of an inch, and I think I can take that out with some braces. Together countertop number 2. It's fairly simple. I'm using Gorilla Glue on it, and I'm pounding the little wafers in it with a rubber mallet, getting it all glued up good, and then putting all my clamps on and letting it dry. Installing the hinges on the door again, hopefully for the last time. Well, there it is. Doors on. The top's not attached or finished, but that's pretty much what it's going to look like. I'm definitely going to, until I attach the top, but I'm going to router out the top on 3 sides, not the back. And I'm going to try and put like a little drip edge or drip pan with the router on the inside. So hopefully that works out. But there you are. Not too bad for not knowing what I'm doing. And my crafty little lines I was going to put in so it looked like barn doors. The paint was so, well, exactly the same that you can't really tell. And I'm not going to waste my time doing it again. Cabinet number 2, all the door hinges and handles installed, same as cabinet number 1. That little munchkin you see running around there is my granddaughter. She lives in the same community as my wife and I, so my wife can go pick her up to come visit all the time, which is nice. Right here, I'm using a high-tech paint stir stick as my tape measure. My tape measure and most of my tools are in the van because we're working on the guard shack and I'm too lazy to go out in the rain and get it. Hinge set that I bought for these cabinets came with the little rubber baby buggy bumpers that go on the doors, so I installed those too. All right, cabinet number 2, the doors are on, the handles are on. I've got my 2-year-old granddaughter inspecting it with her Gigi here.
Papa,
What? You want to hide in there?
Yeah.
Okay. Gigi's gonna close it for you. Looks like I need to make a playhouse.
Where does he go? Where does he go?
Another project, hooray. Now she thinks it's a playhouse and that her Gigi should get in there with her. I need to make a little bit bigger cabinets, but don't tell my wife that. Here's the project I've been doing the last couple of days. We've got 1 full day into forming it up and pouring the concrete pad, and 2 half days of getting it this far, frame sided roofing so far. And we'll be back doing the roofing. Hopefully tomorrow we paint and then do the roofing the next day. But that's why I haven't been on my projects.